Alright guys, welcome back to another Opera Omnia video where we're going to talk about Ace's rework. We're going to talk about his LD and BT slash BT plus a little bit more in depth when it comes to percentages, what did they change up in his kit. We're going to talk about Bartz BT plus, and then we got a small little surprise. Kimahri, he got LD boards, and his LD boards actually seem pretty good. So we're gonna review that as well and look at what they gave Kimahri, because Kimahri, where he stands right now on the JP side, can actually be pretty useful with his auras and what he's bringing to the team. So as always, if you do enjoy this video guys, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for future content guys. We are trying to aim now for 2,000 plus subs, and based off of my YouTube analytics, I have almost 80% of people who watch my videos but don't subscribe. So if you do enjoy this video, consider subscribing, help me out in growing the channel together. So let's go ahead and talk about Ace's rework, his adjustments that he got with his LD and BT release. So Ace's adjustments, his crystal level 55 awakening, which is burst extend, they gave him an extra 2 usage for his skill, for his burst skill. So now you have 9 uses on it. And then when using the burst skill, it increases the total brave hits to 4, increases the brave potency, and allows for 150% stolen brave max brave overflow. When using mega burst, it turns into a 3 hits melee brave plus HP attack done twice and increases the brave potency. When using mega burst plus, it turns into a 2-hit magic brave plus HP attack plus a 3 hits magic brave plus HP attack plus another 3 hits magic brave plus HP attack, and increases brave potency, and it deals 20% splash damage to other enemies. Now his crystal level 60 awakening, which is the spiral combo extend, it adds 2 usage to his spiral combo move, so now you have a max usage of 9. When using spiral combo, it increases the total brave hits to 4. It increases the brave potency. It allows for 120% stolen brave max brave overflow, and it deals 50% splash HP damage to non-targets. When using the mega spiral combo, it increases the total brave hits to 8. It increases the stolen brave max brave overflow limit by 30%, so up to a max of 150%, and it increases the splash HP damage dealt by 30% up to 50%. When using the Mega Spiral Combo Plus, it turns into a 5 hits AoE Magic Brave plus a single target HP attack done twice, and increases the brave potency. Now for the Crystal Awakening characters of both Ace and Kimahri, Ace's Crystal level 80 Awakening, the awakening at the Crystal level 75 call ability, which is Spiral Combo C, it increases the own max brave by a medium amount and the attack by a large amount, and it is a 4 hits AoE Magic Brave plus single target HP attack, and when against a single target, it increases the brave damage dealt by a medium amount, and it deals 50% splash damage to non-targets. The call effects from his level 75 call ability is that it gives the caller a mid attack up effect. His awakening level 78, which is the break hit boost up, when using a call, it increases his own max brave by a small amount for 6 actions after breaking or attacking a broken target. And then the awakening level 80, which is Spiral Combo C rank up, when using the Spiral Combo, it allows for 120% stolen brave max brave overflow and extends the duration of all call effects by 3 actions. Now Kimahri's regular call, his awakening level 75 call ability, which is Mighty Guard and Bad Breath, it recovers brave to the party based on his own attack. It grants HP damage reduction to the party for 2 actions. It is a 4 hits AoE range brave plus AoE HP attack, and when against a single target, it increases the brave damage dealt by a medium amount, and it deals split HP damage, and it also inflicts the Bad Breath debuff to all enemies for 2 actions. Now the awakening level 78, which is full HP resist all, when using a call while HP is full, it reduces the brave damage taken by the party by a small amount for 3 turns. His awakening level 80, which is the Mighty Guard and Bad Breath Call rank up. When using the Mighty Guard and Bad Breath Call, it allows for 120% stolen max brave overflow, and it extends the base duration of HP damage reduction and bad breath by 2 actions. Now, Ace's LD weapon, which is called Magician's Deck, it equips the LD ability called Jackpot Triad. It is a 4-hit AoE Magic Brave plus AoE HP attack that attacks 3 times, and it deals split HP damage. When attacking a single target, it increases the Brave damage dealt by 60% and allows for 200% stolen Brave max Brave overflow. After each, except for his last HP attack, it recovers Brave to himself based on 20% of the total HP damage dealt. And it also increases the card stock to 3 and grants him 3 stacks of the Rubrum's trump card to himself for 6 turns, and will not consume ability usage on the following turn, excluding some abilities. So he does get a free ability use, either C65 or skill 1 or skill 2 after using the LD ability. If the card face down debuff is already afflicted, it dispels the card face down. It inflicts the card face down debuff to the targets for 1 turn. It turns the HP attack into HP attack plus Blind Stud Open, which is a 4-hit AoE Magic Brave plus single target HP attack. When attacking a single target, it increases the Brave damage dealt by 60%, allows for 150% stolen Brave max Brave overflow, deals 50% HP damage to non-targets, no action delay, increases the card stock by 2, it reverts back to its previous state after use. If the card face down debuff is already afflicted, it dispels the card face down. It inflicts the enemy with the card face down debuff to the targets for 1 turn. Now, the debuff, the card face down, what it does, it inflicts them, or within that debuff, there is a defense 40% down. When the duration ends, it inflicts the Blind Stud Open debuff for 6 actions and triggers the trap attack Blind Stud, which recovers Brave to self based on 100% of his own attack. It is a 4-hit Magic Brave plus HP attack and recovers Brave to the party based on 20% of the HP damage dealt to the target. It deals 20% splash HP damage to non-targets, and it cannot initiate a chase sequence. The debuff Blind Stud Open also has that defense down by 40%. Whenever the enemy or any ally does any type of action, the duration goes down by 1 action and the trap card Blind Stud is triggered. During the burst mode, it will only trigger once when the burst mode ends. The buff Rubrum Trumps card, which is a buff for Ace. It gives him a max Brave 40% up, an attack 40% up, and the added effects from the LD board. He gives himself a Brave gain based on the number of stacks, so he starts off at 5% and it goes up to 30%. The self HP damage dealt up, he starts at 5%, and then it goes all the way up to 25%. The Party Brave damage dealt up starts at 6% and it'll go up to 30% again based on stacks. And then the Party Stolen Brave max Brave overflow limit, which starts at 6% all the way up to 30%. Now, Ace's LD call for the Jackpot Triad basically does what I mentioned earlier, and then actually, yeah, it pretty much does exactly what I mentioned earlier with what his attack originally does, which is that that 4-hit Magic Brave plus AoE HP attack, and then it does have that like trap effect where it'll do a follow-up either whenever any of your allies do anything or the enemy does anything. Ace's BT weapon, which is called Crazy 8, the finished burst is called Vermilion Bird. It is an 8-hit AoE Magic Brave plus AoE HP attack done twice. It deals splits HP damage. After each, except for the last HP attack, it recovers Brave to himself based on 50% of the total HP damage dealt. When against a single target, it increases the Brave damage dealt by 60%. The max Brave damage cap goes up to it goes up by 200%, so up to basically just 30k. Allows for stolen brave, max brave overflow, and max HP damage cap by 400% up to 500k damage. It triggers the following burst effect to the party for 8 turns. Each time that Ace acts, it increases the stack and increases party stats up to 3 stacks. The max brave, the party gets a max brave up, so it'll start at 10% and will go up to 30%. The party will also get an attack up, so it'll start at 60% up to 80% attack up for the party. Stolen brave max brave overflow limit goes up, starting at 25% up to 40%. The HP damage dealt up goes up by starting at 5% up to 20%. The max HP damage cap up starts at 5% all the way up to 15%. And then when the burst effect ends, it triggers the We Are Right Here effect, which is a 5-hit AoE Magic Brave plus AoE HP attack done 3 times. It deals split HP damage, and when against a single target, it increases the Brave damage dealt by 60%, allows for 180% Stolen Brave Max Brave Overflow, and then after each except for the last attack, it will not consume any Brave. His BT Plus limit break passives, whenever you use the Vermilion Bird attack, his final burst attack, it turns into an 8-hit AoE Magic Brave plus AoE HP attack done twice, increases the Brave potency by a tremendous amount, and then after each except for the last HP attack, it recovers Brave to himself based on 50% of the total HP damage dealt, and it increases the max Brave damage cap by 180%, originally starting at 20%, now it'll go max up to 200%, and then it also increases the max HP damage cap by 350%, originally at 100%, now it'll go up to 400%. If you limit break, if you put 1 ingot into his BT Plus, the burst mode gets extended by 1 turn, yeah. So you get 1 additional turn in the burst mode. If you add 2 ingots, the Vermilion Bird buff up adds the following effects to the burst effect. So it improves the effects of the attack up. So instead of the 10, 30, 50%, it'll go up to 60, 70, 80%. It improves the effects of the attack up. So I believe that might be a mistranslation, I'm not too sure, but the percentages were originally 5, 10, and 20%, will go up to 25%, 30%, and 40%, and increases the Brave potency of the We Are Right Here by a tremendous amount. And then finally, if you max out his BT Plus, it unlocks the BT ability Vermilion Bird. So very, very interesting. Some strong party auras definitely from that BT effect. Bartz BT Plus, whenever you throw a book into it, the quick Spellblade dual wield rapid fire brave hit plus force limit up. When using the quick Spellblade, it increases the total brave hits by 4, increases the brave potency by a tremendous amount, increases the max brave damage cap by 130% up to 150%. So Bartz should start doing up to 25k brave damage, and then increases the max HP damage cap by 380% up to 400%. So he'll do a max of 500k HP damage. If you throw 1 ingot, you get an additional turn in his burst mode. If you throw 2 ingots, it adds the following effects to the burst effect. So 1 stack party enchant wind effect, and then at 3 stacks, the party brave recovery received goes up by 25%, and then if you max it out, you unlock his BT ability. Now, finally, I know this is a lot, and I mean, with Ace's rework, it definitely added to a whole lot more than what we wanted. So finally, we're going to talk about Kimahri's LD with his LD extension. Kimahri's LD weapon, which is Giant Spear, equips him with the LD ability called White Wind. It recovers 90% HP to the party, recovers Brave to party based on 250% of his own attack. It allows for 150% recovered Brave Max Brave Overflow. It is an 8-hit range Brave plus HP attack, which allows for 200% Stolen Brave Max Brave Overflow, and it deals 100% HP damage to non-targets. It extends the duration of his own active buffs by 1 turn, and it grants him the Gagazet Wind to himself for 8 turns, and will not consume ability uses on the following turn except for some abilities. Now, it turns his HP attack into Jump++, which recovers Brave to the party based on 70% of his own attack. It is a 2-hit range Brave plus HP attack, allows for 150% stolen Brave max Brave overflow, and it recovers Brave to himself based on 50% of the HP damage dealt, and it extends the duration of his own active buffs by 1 turn. It fills his own recast gauge to full, no action delay, and reverts back to the previous state afterwards. Now, his buff, which is Gazette Wind, and this effect also applies to the party. The initial Brave and attack go up by 20%. The Brave regen, or the party gains a Brave regen, and that is based off of 30% of initial Brave. The party also gets an HP regen, which is 10% of the your allies' max HP. The Brave damage dealt and stolen Brave max Brave overflow limit goes up by 20%. The HP damage dealt goes up by 10%. When allies' HP is at least 50%, it improves the initial Brave and attack effects up to 40%, improves Brave regen effect up to 60%. It increases, it improves the Brave damage dealt and stolen Brave damage Brave overflow limit effects up to 30%, and improves the HP damage dealt up effect up to 20%, which is pretty nutty. His LD card is basically, you know, he does his normal attack, and the party effects that he gets, which lasts for 3 turns. Brave regen, 30% of initial Brave, and then his initial, Brave regen based off of 30% of initial Brave, the initial Brave 20% up, HP damage dealt 10% up effects, and then when the party has at least 50%, it improves the effect to the Brave regen up to 60% of the initial Brave, initial Brave 40% up, and then HP damage dealt 20% up with his LD call effect. So it's pretty crazy what they gave him. They gave him a major improvement on that buff that he provides for the entire party, having that HP damage up, the stolen Brave, max Brave overflow going up. It's a very nice change that they give to Kimahri, and using him as an LD call, he could be an LD call that I could be using a pretty good amount, especially with how we have to deal with the major Brave reduction and whatnot. Kimahri could be an excellent choice to bring into the fight when it comes to dealing, depending on, of course, team comps, dealing up against the Brave reduction and, you know, Brave regen, etc., etc. But overall, though, I mean, he turned out pretty good, and thankfully, I do have his LD. I have not built him up, but I am definitely going to build him up now. But aside from that, though, guys, I mean, yeah, so Ace got one hell of a change on his initial kit, and then with his LD and especially his BT weapon, it goes to show how they are trying to combat the crazy Brave reduction that a lot of these bosses have now. And so they are throwing some options out there that you can use to go up against this crazy Brave reduction and, you know, and other stuff that the bosses do already. But of course, there are other characters outside of the burst effects, outside of having to pull for burst weapons that you can use, which I will actually make a separate video about, so that way global players who watch my videos who want to stay up to date with some of the JP content that is out can prepare themselves, because I know that some players are a little worried about how bad this Brave reduction is, you know, being at 90% and all that other stuff. But it's not too much to worry, because if you do manage to grab some of the units that I will be talking about in a separate video, then I think you'll be just fine. I don't think it's nothing too tremendous to worry about. You know, me myself, I was a little bit concerned with the whole Brave reduction thing, but seeing as how they were being very generous with making sure that we had the resources to be able to BT plus some of these characters, or the characters that they are releasing now with BT pluses, and some of the previous characters who only have LDs to help out against this brave reduction. I don't think it's gonna be too much trouble, but like I said, I'll make a separate video on that and talk about which characters to kind of look out for when it comes to you know, this whole like stuff, like which ones you should definitely prioritize when it comes to future proof. So anyway, so guys, that's gonna be it for the video. I know that it was a little bit long, but there was as you can see, there was a lot to talk about. So anyways, let me know what you think about Ace's kit, Bartz BT plus, and then Kimahri's lovely LD boards. Other than that though, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for future content. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care, and I will catch you guys in my next video.